Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Stratford Sit Down, episode 3, I think. Episode 3 or 4. I forgot. And just a disclaimer, this is an episode that will include talk about drugs and overdose and things of that nature. So if you have dealt with things like that, and it will trigger you, you can click off the video right now. And just a disclaimer, we are not professionals. We haven't like studied this stuff. We're just stating opinions off of things that we've read and seen. And if we do offend anybody, you guys can let us know so we'll know in the future. So yeah. And today we have a special guest. Her name is...
I'm Anna. I'm a junior.
Yes. And Emma, I'm sorry, I forgot to... My other co-host.
I think they get this by now. It's Tailor.
So, we wanted to talk about how after the election in Oregon, they decriminalized marijuana and small amounts of cocaine, and I forgot what the other one was. Hold on, let me check. It was small amounts of heroin, cocaine. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but it starts with an M, and like shrooms. I also don't know how to pronounce the right the right name, but I was actually really excited about that, and it's actually happening in like a bunch of other states and cities too. And a lot of people kind of feel like negative about it, but I feel good about it. How do y'all feel?
I think it's a good step in like the right direction. I feel like there's like this really bad like stigma against people who are addicted to drugs. And okay, also yes, would like to start the episode. We do not condone the use of drugs, so we don't. Please don't do that, and please don't take what we're saying as an invitation to like introduce yourself to. We're just saying in terms of people who are already down that path of usage of drugs, that it's kind of a bad thing against them, because people, when you're addicted to drugs, I've seen it firsthand with my family members and people that I've seen, it's really hard for them to progress through life. It's hard for them to get jobs because they have past criminal offenses because of drugs. And when it's, at least in my experience with my family members, whenever they were dealing with their drug abuse and everything, it wasn't voluntary. It wasn't because, they were just being reckless and doing things because they thought it would be cool and then they just got addicted. It was because of hardship and struggle. And so to see them be punished by this system that's just targeted against them, it's really hard because it's hard for them to get back on their feet. Like, I want to see my family succeed. So I really think this is a good step in the right direction. Like, maybe less, now that it's decriminalizing some amounts, it'll be easier for them to get back on their feet, and maybe we can, instead of like, I don't know, it'll hopefully get them set in the right direction.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think a lot of people think with the decriminalization of drugs, they think, addiction is going to be more widespread or something along those lines. But really, it's supposed to decrease the stigma and the taboo that we have around drugs and to make it easier for people with addictions to open up about it.
Yeah, and like I think personally that drugs, like people doing drugs shouldn't be taken as a criminal offense. It should be taken as a mental health issue. Because if you take someone that's on drugs and throw them in jail, they're not getting the help that they need, because the jail system is not built for that. It's built to punish people for things that they've done. And taking drugs, I'm sorry, but it does not hold the same weight as murdering somebody or molesting somebody. Like, that's two different things. So people who do drugs should be treated as hospital patients. They should be taken in, into rehab and actually help, so that when they go back into the real world, they don't even want to touch another drug. Like I was saying, it doesn't hold the same weight as like molesting somebody or murdering somebody. So people of that nature deserve to be punished, but no one deserves to be punished for going through something and like needing something to fall back on, because I feel like people who get on drugs are really like going through something mentally and they need help, but they obviously probably don't have the money to go to therapy. They don't have anyone in their family that they can really talk to really get some help. So drugs are the one thing they fall back on, so they'll be numb. And I know that I've seen that firsthand, like people using drugs to just not feel, and that's not the right way to go. But people do go that direction, and it's not good, but it shouldn't be treated as a criminal offense. It just shouldn't.
Yeah, adding on to that, I think that the decriminalization of drugs also reduces racially motivated arrests, just because of the stigmas that certain races have created, especially like by the war on drugs in the 90s. I think that will definitely reduce the amount of, racist sentences.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, I do. Like, I see that a lot, like in the news. Like, people are always. It's just when you see two people. Like, you see a white person who's doing like drugs, and they're encouraged to like get help and get rehabilitation rather than punishment. And when you see the same exact thing, crime-wise or punishment-wise, but instead it's with someone of color, it's so much more harsh, and they're quick to just punish it, and just like it's I think with this we can focus more on rehabilitation rather than punishment. And I really am curious to know with you guys, I personally think like with this with the decriminalization, we can focus mainly less on more arresting and focus more on like getting people into rehabilitation centers. And I'm interested, what do you guys think about like what we could do to replace, now that we have less criminalization going on and less arresting possibly as an effect? What do you guys think would be done, should be done in response?
Well, I know that there are rehab centers and there are like mental hospitals, but the things that I've heard about those things they aren't helpful at all. So I've seen things in, I think it was Sweden, but the jails are like not, okay, I'm just using the jail as an example, but in jail, like in their cell, they have a TV, they have a place where they can go read books, a library, they actually eat real food, like they actually have a place where they can rebuild themselves. So I think for people who do drugs, they should have a place like that, like a place where they're not like confined to a schedule, like, or maybe just not like where they're forced to do anything they want to do. Like they don't have to sit in a circle with other people and talk about what they went through. They can talk to one person, a therapist. They can have family visit anytime they want. They can be in a place where they can feel like they don't have to do drugs, where they can be happy. And I don't know exactly how that would go, but just a place where they just feel at home. Like, I don't know. Like, you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think that it's vital to, to stay away, further punishment, because it's just gonna lead people with serious addictions down like a never-ending spiral. Because when you think about, like, if you go to prison, like that weight is with you forever, and especially with the person who already has, their own problems, it's just going to be worse, and it's not going to be a good life for them.
It's not. And I think that people who are already in jail for drug offenses should be released, because if these things are getting lifted, these laws against drugs are being lifted, then the people in jail for them should also be taken out. Like, especially if it's like a minor, like marijuana offense, because that also bothers me, how like marijuana is illegal in Texas, but like there's like dispensaries like down the street, like, ran by people who it's like funded, like, what I mean? And you don't see the police going in there raiding that, but they're raiding minority neighborhoods that are selling, marijuana as a lifestyle. And yes, it's illegal, but why do they have, I don't like how police raid like minority neighborhoods who are maybe selling marijuana as a lifestyle because that's the only way that they can make money. But these dispensaries that are in, Houston are not being having the same consequence. I personally don't understand that, like, that stigma, like when, and I'm gonna say it, white people sell, their little edibles and their little things that are they market it as like healthy, it's good for you. But then minorities are doing the same thing and they go to jail for it for years and years and years. It's not the same thing, and I don't understand it. What do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I really think that there is just this main double standard. And honestly, I think the double standard is just a product of just the system as a whole being messed up. And that's one thing I'm scared about with this coming, even though it's progress, I'm scared that what's going to happen, just like every other thing in the past where progress has been made, that progress has been capitalized and kind of exploited. And I'm really scared that that's going to happen with this as well. I feel like we're taking 2 steps forward in decriminalizing these things to help people in need and people who are struggling. And I really think businesses are going to start capitalizing on it as a way to contribute to their economy and their businesses, and try to just focusing on their profits rather than helping the people. And that's what I'm really worried about, as in just an effect of the decriminalization. And I really think that I am 100% for decriminalization, but I think that this is going to be a really bad negative effect that could possibly really just mess up all the progress that we're really just aiming for.
No, I see that. I actually see that because I can see them helping certain people because, oh my God, they're actually struggling and they actually need help. But if they see somebody maybe a minority who's going through it, then they might not be as willing to help them because they'll just see them as a druggie or just someone who just does it just because. I can totally see that happening. I can see that. Yeah. And also I know I've never understood why marijuana was even illegal in the first place until I watched this documentary on Netflix. I forgot what it's called, but it has Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, but they actually go and talk to people about back in the day when it was first made illegal. And back in the day they used to call it reefer, right? And jazz musicians were the equivalent to rappers today. So they used to smoke when they made music because it made them make good music. It's how, what's his name, who cut his ear off, he used to do drugs when he painted, the artist
Van Gogh, yeah.
Yes. Yes, but it was the equivalent, and their music was so good, but the government, they saw Black people using this drug and they were no, y'all can't do that, no. So then they made it illegal. All this stuff happened, drug war, and the president, I forgot who the president was, but he was he even said they proved that weed isn't addictive. It can't kill you. Obviously too much of something is bad, but it's not the equivalent to cocaine and heroin. So, but it's still illegal to this day, just because of that whole thing. You have to watch the documentary because obviously I'm not touching on every single thing, but I was oh my God, they really just don't like us. That's why they did that.
We should put it in the description, everyone can watch it. What's it called? Remember? I know you sent it to me, but I never watched it because I just kept getting caught up with things. But I want to watch it so bad. You sent it to me, and I was yes.
It's called Grass is Greener, and the description is The racial injustices of the war on drugs is brought front and center in this documentary featuring Snoop Dogg and Daryl DMC McDaniels and more. Maybe it's not Dr. Dre. I swear I saw him in there anyways. And then yeah, and they narrate the past, present, and future of cannabis and law. It's a really good documentary. It is. Yeah. But yeah. Is there any last like things you guys want to put in about this? Any advice?
I guess I would just like to stress the fact again that we are no at all way condoning the use of drugs. We are just really passionate about spreading awareness for people who are already struggling, and I really think it's important for our viewers at home to know. If you wouldn't mind, just take the time, look into it, just form your own opinion about it, because just watching us isn't enough to just make your own opinion. So really just see how much you can learn about it, and maybe, who knows, maybe you're a viewer and you can come on here for our next topic, and maybe you'll be able to come on here and talk too.
Yeah, and also I wanted to say for kids at school, or even if your family's going through it, don't ever be scared to go talk to someone like the counselors, because I personally have talked to the counselors when I was kind of going through it, and they were really helpful. And I'm really glad I talked to them. And even don't be scared to, y'all can come to us. We're not professionals or nothing, but we'll be like, hey, it's not even that bad. Just chill. We'll help you out. We're cool like that. Anna, you have any last things to say?
Thank you for inviting me. This is really, really fun, and I love talking about this subject.
Well, we're glad to have you on. I'm so sorry that so many things came up changing it, but I'm so glad we were able to work it out.
You're fine.
And tell your friends to come watch and to support us. And if they ever want to be on an episode, if they ever have any topic ideas, let us know, because Emma and I are so open. We can talk about anything, honestly.
Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you guys at home liked it. I really am excited for our next episode. All of our links for the podcast Instagram will be in the description, as well as our social media, and we'll put in there as well.
All right. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.
Bye.